This conference will now be recorded.
Hey, all you crypto boomers, it is us, Bud and George and Paul, back to discuss cryptos. And man, there's some excitement in the air right now. Look at Bitcoin moving, the chart on the screen. We've had a kind of a crazy week with crazy weather and crazy crypto movements, but that's just what this market can do. You guys hear me okay?
We can hear
I
you
do.
loud and clear, Paul.
Awesome, awesome.
Good to hear
So
from you guys.
guys, before we get started, click the subscribe button, click the bell, and you'll get notifications whenever a new video is released. And also click the like button and also share it with your friends and let's just get everybody up to speed and keep everybody up to speed on this market because we are in some crazy fun times of wealth creation. So, Bud, I'm going to go to you first. We were talking just before we started the video that you've got some excitement in your charts. What are you thinking? What are you looking at right now?
Yeah. Thanks, Paul. It's interesting. You mentioned that we've had this really cold weather, and I remember we've been calling this the crypto winter for so many years now, and now it's a thaw, and it's a big kind of heat wave coming in the crypto market because the breaking of $50,000 is such a huge psychological number. I mean, it's incredible to think that when I first bought Bitcoin, it was $200 and people were screaming at me. It was way too expensive. So to be in this wealth creation time, a generational wealth transfer that's happening, it is just an incredible time, and certainly to have learned all about crypto and the fact that this is going on and to be in it, I'm just so blessed and so thankful that we are actually in it and we can sort of witness history in the making.
Yeah, it is. It's a really exciting time to, like you said, we went through that bear period for was 2.5 years, and now we're seeing some movement. And just to kind of put it in perspective, um, for crying out loud, Bitcoin in October was 10 grand in October, just a few months ago.
Yeah.
And if you follow Jay's teaching, you can count the waves, but we were knocking on $52,000 today, and we've got targets on up from here. But one of the things I want to make sure everybody remembers is we do not give investment advice. That's not what this is about. It's an educational channel only. But if you want to follow along what we do, that's on you. That's up to you. But this is an exciting time to be in the space. I would not say that any of us are buying Bitcoin right here. Matter of fact, I can guarantee you that the three of us are not buying Bitcoin at this point. So you can read between the lines right there. But there's so many other projects out there that have really not started moving yet that are on our radar. And Bud, you've got a couple on your radar that you're working on. Why don't you give us a couple of those?
Yeah, will do. And it's interesting you mentioned that we don't give investment advice. I'm getting plenty of advice from friends and family and people I've mentioned about Bitcoin. They're happy now to come out the woodwork and tell me what I should be doing. And it's like, where were you guys when Bitcoin was $3,150? Where were you? And of course, now Elon Musk getting into the space has boosted it, and it's a little bit unfair that he's encouraging people to get in and tweeting about it when it's up so high. It's up so high, and you just worry for people. They're going to do what we did in 2017 and FOMO into the market. That's fear of missing out. And I remember that, and I would encourage anyone listening to this, crypto boomers especially, just take your time. We're all calm, and we're just enjoying this, and not. I'm not experiencing any FOMO. Are you guys?
Not at all.
Absolutely not. Nope. Just sitting back and looking at it.
You know what the cool thing is, and talking about that is through the teachings of Jay at the Bitcoin Academy. He, we've got our targets, and I've got my plan set out. I know you guys do too. And you do have to pivot from your plan now and then. It is crypto. But you know, we all know that Elon Musk coming out, and I'm not picking on Elon. I love Tesla, but Elon Musk coming out and reportedly buying $1.5 billion in Bitcoin sends a message to people that follow him that probably is not good timing. And if you're just new to this space, or you're just now coming into the crypto market or wanting to learn more about the crypto market, man, you can make some major mistakes just listening to someone like that, can't you, bud?
Absolutely. And I would reiterate that people need to learn about Bitcoin before paying $50,000, for a Bitcoin. The Bitcoin Standard is one of the best books I've read on Bitcoin, and certainly most of the book is not Bitcoin. It's more about teaching you about money, what is money, and I would encourage the crypto boomers just to really think about what it is. Why? Because most of the comments I'm getting from friends, I've had friends make $10,000. I've had friends make $100,000. I've even had some friends make $1 million. The ones that have made the more of the money know what they are buying. The ones that are down there, they're happy to throw in some money. They like it when it goes up, but when it goes down, you need a reason to hold strong. And that's why I encourage reading the Bitcoin Academy, reading around the subject. What the hell is this Bitcoin, and why on earth is it worth $50,000+?
Yeah. Well, and something I think that's important, because we have so many new listeners over our different channels, is that, if you go back to 2017, one of the main themes, and this was for me especially, this was before, I had just met Jay and started listening to him, but in my mind, they were saying Bitcoin to 100,000, then to 1 million. And so in my mind, it reached, 19, 20,000, and I thought, we're on our way. And so I just held. But so many people FOMO'd into the market at that point that did not know any better and bought Bitcoin at $19,000, only to watch it go back and pull back. If you can see on this chart, pulled back to $5,500 and then on down to $3,200. Well, a whole bunch of those people got scared, freaked out, and said, well, I got to get some of my money back. So they sold at those levels, and only to watch it go up from there. And, if you don't know what you're doing, if you're not educated, and that's what the Bitcoin Academy does, and that's what we have been blessed to learn, is if you're not educated in a space, don't put your money in it. Don't put your money into a space where you don't have at least a rudimentary level of understanding of the space. You don't have to be an expert, but at least understand and have a plan. Because if you don't have a plan, you're going to get slaughtered.
Absolutely. Sorry, George.
I would agree. Yeah, I was going to say, because it moves so fast. I was talking to someone yesterday about gold, and gold is so slow in the movements that it makes up and down. And that is the opposite of what Bitcoin does. It is fast moving. And if you're not ready, in a blink of an eye, it can be up, down. It can make huge movements very, very quickly. And I don't think people are aware of that, or that they're not used to it, because most things don't move that fast.
Yeah.
Actually, George, can I just add to that? Because one of the things I've noticed is that in the 2017 market, we reached 700-800 billion market cap. Then it went all the way down to 100. And I don't know if you remember, it was at 100 billion market cap, the total market cap of crypto, for absolutely ages, months and months. Yeah. And then it was creeping up and up, and and now we've gone past the 1 trillion. We went to 1.4 trillion in next to no time. I mean, the speed and acceleration of this market is awe-inspiring.
It really is incredible. You look at less than a month ago, we were at 8,000. It's doubled in less than a month, guys. And that's Bitcoin. There's others out there that have done more than double, way more than double. So, and I guess the point I was making about looking back at 2017 and those people that FOMO'd in at $19,000, isn't it incredible, by the way, to look at this chart at how small
Yeah.
that looked? This used to be huge. This used to be, you know, it took up the whole chart. And Jay always told us, we're going to look back and that is going to be a little bump.
It's a bump on a log.
Yep, a little bump on a log. But back to my point is, you know, using 2017 as the FOMO model, we've got people that are FOMOing in to Bitcoin right now. And listen, if you bought it, hang on to it. You may have to go through some pain, some pullback, because no market goes straight up to target. It goes in waves. Jay teaches this. And but don't FOMO out if it does pull back.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, I do like that. Now, it's interesting, Paul, that the Bitcoin price, I think a lot of people are starting to get a little bit nervous about how overbought this is.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think I certainly believe, and I think we here as a group believe, that a lot of these Bitcoin holders are actually going to liquidate Bitcoin and transfer it to some of their favorite altcoins. And I know that we've got some big X factors on some altcoins that we're looking at. Well, one of the ones I pivoted in yesterday, I added to my position, is T-Fuel. I know there's been a lot of talk about T-Fuel, which is the juice that drives Theta. And I figured that actually I've looked at some of my positions, and I feel like some of those coins have only got maybe a 1x to their target. Mm-hmm. So it's almost worth now pulling the trigger a little bit early, going into Theta Fuel and coming out slightly early from some of the other positions and having a big Theta Fuel position. Have you guys looked at Theta Fuel?
Oh man, it's one of my favorite projects.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Go ahead, Paul.
No, you go, George, because you and Jay are the ones that kind of been promoting it and telling us about it, and I'm loving that project. But yeah, and then also you might mention the Theta thing.
Yeah, well, you know, and the coins, you know, Theta and T-Fuel, great coins. The technology though behind Theta on the company has had me excited for a long time. And so it's kind of a bonus to see that, you know, Theta Fuel has not made a huge run yet. And I think with what I've decided that it has a lot more room to grow. And, you know, coming up March 4th, we're going to have Dee from G-Pool join us to talk about his view on Theta 3.0. And it was funny, I was talking to him on, I think we talk on Slack, and he was, you know, we were talking back and forth, and he was so excited. I could just tell his enthusiasm on the other side of typing. And he's like, you know, we're not going to tell, his comment was, we're not going to tell people, you know, why. It's like, we're going to tell people they need to know how important Theta 3.0 is. And after that conversation, you know, we'll let him share that on air with the, it's going to be happening on Jay's crypto, basically the Patreon account that I believe is going to be open to everybody if you get a link from someone, or you guys can post it too.
And we will.
But he's going to be talking about Theta 3.0, and just a little bit that he shared with me, I am just stoked about the company and where that's headed. And that is definitely going to be reflected in the price of the coins.
Yeah, it's one of the most exciting projects out there for me right now, along with, you know, ADA, Digibyte, you know, a few others, PPT, but Theta Fuel and Theta are extremely exciting projects to me.
Yep.
So I've got a question. I want to throw this to George. I've had several people, and I think you guys have too, that are new to the space. That let's just assume I'm one of those people that is new to the space. I've never done anything in crypto. Maybe I bought a Bitcoin or a half a Bitcoin last year when it was down around, you know, $8,000 or whatever, but I've left that on my Coinbase account. And so now hearing about all these other projects and opportunities and creating wealth and all of that. So I'm sitting here and I'm talking to George, and I say, George, I don't know, number one, where to buy it, and number two, where do I put it? Because I heard you guys saying that you should never leave your stuff on an exchange for safety purposes. And I'm just curious, you know, if I wanted to get into Digibyte, or if I wanted to get into PPT or some of these other ones, what's the best way for me to do that quickly? And is it even possible to do quickly? And also, where do I put it?
Yeah, you know, and I would say my favorite term right now is it depends. It depends in what people feel comfortable with, because there's a group, Caleb and Brown, where if you don't feel comfortable going onto an exchange to buy some of these coins, open up an account at Caleb and Brown. Paul will include a link down below, where you can set up, you can email, you can call someone, say, hey, I have X amount that I want to invest, and these are the coins that I want to invest in. And then there's the other side of it, where if you feel a little bit more savvy and comfortable with technology, you can open up a Coinbase account, a Gemini account. Depending on where you are in the world, you'd be able to open up a Binance account. Us here in the US are limited to some of the exchanges that we can participate in. I think, Bud, you're over on the other side of the pond, and you have a little bit more flexibility than we do. But, you know, that is the second level. And then when you feel really comfortable, there's some of the DEXs that are out there, like SimpleSwap and Uniswap and MetaMask, where you can swap some of your coins. And it really just depends on the coins that you're going to want to take in or trade or swap in and out of. DEXs, which are decentralized exchanges, you really can't onboard, you can't use your fiat to get into crypto, because these are really kind of decentralized exchanges that don't take your US dollars or pounds or euro and turn them into coins. So it really depends on where you feel comfortable. But ultimately, when you do get your coins, you want to hold them yourself. You know, the first level is something like an Exodus wallet, which is an online wallet where you are given a 12-word or a 24-word phrase. You hold on to that and keep it in a safe or a safe place, because that ultimately is where your coins are stored, believe it or not, in those 12 or 24 words. That is the key to everything. That's the beginning point for most people. And when you really want to feel safe, and when you have a larger portfolio, you really want to look at storing it on a hardware wallet, like a Ledger or a Trezor. Those are my two favorite, because they are really easy for people to use. They're pretty straightforward. I know the Ledger has a lot of coins available for storage, and a lot of groups or communities that write the apps that sit on these hardware wallets. You know, they first write it for a Ledger before most, just because it's popularity. But it's really trying to hold your coins. And if you hold your coins, then you own your coins. But if you don't, you may run into a problem like we've heard Jay talk about so many times, where in the height, the run up in 2017, exchanges froze. They didn't allow you to send or receive because they were overwhelmed. Why they were overwhelmed, you know, that's up for debate. Were they told to just hold things because things were going too crazy? I don't know. But if you held something on an exchange that froze access to it, you could not do a thing. But if you hold it on your own, then you could send it to a Caleb and Brown. You could send it to a DEX. You could send it to a variety of exchanges that you might have access to, and actually be able to pivot out of a coin, maybe into fiat, maybe into a stable coin, but it gives you more possibilities that when things start to get hot again, because it's really going to be interesting to see what happens when things just get steaming hot like they did back in 2017, 2018, and what's going to happen to the exchanges, and are they going to be overwhelmed again, or are they going to be able to handle it this time? So it's too early to tell.
Hey, George, can I add something to that? Because you made me think that one of the wonderful things about crypto is it is almost allowed to go in these waves. And yes, we've had to endure a bear market, but I'm actually quite thankful for that now, because the market strengthens, the poor projects go away, the strong projects get bigger and better, and actually now the market is so much more robust, don't you think, than compared to 2017?
Oh, absolutely. And there's so many more choices for platforms, for onboarding, for hardware wallets. I mean, it is a different environment than it was back then. And really exciting, because the other thing that I was talking to a friend was, back in 2017, when you mentioned Bitcoin, people were like, they cocked their head in the middle, be like, what is that? And now, my grandma even knows about Bitcoin. And so, it's a conversation that people are having. Now, whether or not they own it, I don't know, but it's that conversation that people understand it. And so the strength behind that, I think, is so much greater now than it was back then.
I totally agree. That's a great explanation on some of the technology, as far as, and some of the ideas on what to do with buying crypto and where to store it. I mean, it goes well beyond that, and I would encourage you, if you really want to learn more about the space, and I encourage you to learn as much as you possibly can, certainly go over to the Bitcoin Academy, and George and Jay do a tremendous job of helping people with that. And then the other part of that is I think tomorrow there's a live stream, right, that anybody can get onto.
Oh yeah, I forgot about. Thanks for bringing that up, Paul. I mentioned the other one on March 4th with
Yep.
D from Gpool, but tomorrow, which is what, the 18th, the live stream is with John Jay from privacyfight.com or privacyfight.io. And he's going to be the special guest, where people are. I already have people asking me, saying, "Hey, I'm not going to be able to attend. Could you ask John Jay this question?" So everybody is really excited about that, and maybe we can get Jay to share that link below this video.
Yeah, that would be great, and we will post it on there. And even if it's not on there when I first post this video, come back and I'll try to add it whenever Jay sends it over to me. And we'll get as many people onto that call as want to be, because that's one of the really cool weekly things that Jay and George do, and that is Ask Us Anything. And they go through, it's supposed to be 2 hours, but a lot of times they give you an extra hour because it's kind of like us, we get together to do these videos once a week, and before we even start the video, we sit there and talk for quite a while, just try to catch up. But everybody's so busy, it's nice to just have an hour or so just to get to catch up with each other and what's going on in their lives and stuff like that, and also share the excitement that we have in crypto. So anyway, anybody got anything else before we wrap this thing up?
Yeah, I was just going to add to George's comment there. I did see Kraken had frozen, I think it was last week, and they blamed the huge increase in onboarding. And so, again, to reiterate, George's warning there, I guess, of just being careful of the exchanges. I mean, especially if you're been in this space for a long time. I mean, how many times have there been big crashes with exchanges? You started with Mt. Gox, and I'm sure there's going to be more in the future as well. It's a new space. It's a wild west. So I would say there's also the most important thing I heard probably a few weeks ago is the phrase "friends don't let friends buy Bitcoin at 50,000." And
no doubt. I mean, you do what you want, but I'm not going to take my investment advice in the crypto space from I'm not saying Elon's not one of the smartest guys in the room, but if he says that he's buying something, I'm gonna take what I've learned from Jay and go look at that chart and decide whether or not this is the right timing for that something. Because he may say he bought 1.5 billion in Bitcoin, and he probably did, but when did he do it?
Yeah, that's a good point, Paul, because you can't just go out to to Coinbase and put in an order for I'd like 1.5 billion in
Right.
Bitcoin, please. You know, it does not happen like that.
Right. My guess is he had somebody buying that over a period of a pullback, and that's all I'll say from there. But
yeah.
Anyway, it's been a good chat, and can't wait for the Ask Us Anything tomorrow. You guys look for the link here, and I will put it underneath this video. Don't forget to click subscribe, like this video, and share it with your friends. And until next time, don't just invest, create wealth, and that's what we do. Have a good one, guys.
cheers.